right.
Like
let me get 2 seconds here. All right.
2 seconds.
Do like
That's
the
what he
director.
needs.
We're gonna do the director. All right, ready? Action. What's up, everybody? Back here on Tigs Bits this week. Bubba exclusive Tigs Bit podcast coming at you. The first of the show was so lunatic, we can't even let y'all hear it. You have to go to Patreon to hear that. So I don't even know what will Tiggs. You'll have whenever you come up for air, you can figure out what you're gonna name that little baby gremlin that we just released for Patreon before we started recording this. So y'all make sure to check that out. But anyway, glad to be back here again. Everybody take a deep breath. This is gonna be a good podcast. We're glad everybody's listening again. I feel like Robert De Niro outside a courthouse right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting wound up. Watch out.
We're getting tired up. I'll tell you what I'll
God.
do. Whip your ass. That's what's fixing to happen here. We're getting fucking angry. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sorry that F-bomb there. But it's funny, though. I think I said this. This is probably included, but I got to say it again. I still find it hilarious how I'm like, all right, okay, we got to really talk some business here for a minute. And JR his head just drops straight down. And he starts working on show notes. And I'm like, well, I guess he just trusts us completely here to figure this out. And he looked up and says,
"That's a good thing."
What was this podcast? Like, unbelievable. So good. So crazy. It's just, hey,
wait,
are we kind of what happens?
Are we recording?
Oh, man.
What's going on here? Are we doing a show or y'all going to keep talking about this jibber jabber stuff y'all talking about?
Jibber jabber.
Yeah,
we're doing a
I
show.
come here to do
Who
two
cares
things.
about all that?
I came here to do 2 things. Drink a few beers, or 3 things. Drink a few beers, talk with my buddies, and cut a podcast. I'm doing 2. Let's get that third one on.
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Let's do that.
Well, Placey, dude, we got to say, first of all, doesn't seem as if you've had the most wonderful Wednesday. This is being recorded on Wednesday. Y'all will be listening to it on Friday. It's not that big of a distance. But what the hell has happened today? You've had some car issues. Tell us about it.
Man, no. So, you know what's funny? So, I had this morning, I had an appointment over in Fort Walton Beach. All right. So, my front fender, somebody apparently, like I'm going to assume the best, and I hope it's not the worst, but somebody on my front fender, my Hyundai Palisade, the front fender, dude, it's like, I hate to say it looks like a foot kicked it. You know what I mean? Like, it is a shot. Now, what I'm thinking somebody happened is somebody tripped on the curb, went in, their arm or shoulder went into it. That's what I'm hoping, because I'm like, I don't have any enemies. I don't think, or either almost like these guys in New York City hitting people and punching people randomly. It was like, was that what it is? Like, I don't know. It's just, dude, it's a pretty good dent. It was right on the crease. There's a little crease, perfect, like supposed to be there for him, but they kicked it right in that crease, around the fender. So it ended up being like a 1.5-foot area dent. So I found this company over there in Fort Walton Beach, and it's called, Dent Fix
We'll
or
bleep
something.
that out. Beep.
There we go.
We don't give them no love till they do a good job.
They ain't done a good job, and they ain't paying us. Beep.
Time out. Yeah, y'all are getting way ahead of me on this. But I'm going a little slow.
I'm just dragging off
too.
Tiggs in her. Tiggs ready to punch through a brick wall. I'm just trying to take some of
fired
that
up tonight, boys.
Release it on my
Fired up! So, but anyway, I went over there. I got a quote. Instead of getting it painted, getting the whole fender, and doing all this stuff, this guy can beat dents out. He's like a dent magician.
Oh.
Had really good reviews, and I was like, you know what? I'll give him $400 to get this thing looking. He claims he can make it look like it did before. I was like,
do the hot
okay,
water,
buddy.
pour the hot water trick like on TikTok or something.
I don't know what all he does. He's got a full shop. It ain't like just some dude sitting in, outside of a Walmart in the parking lot. Yeah, no. It's a real deal. And so, dude, I get there and I drop off the car. But the problem is Fort Walton's 50 minutes away. And it's like, well, I drop it off. He says it's going to take most of the day. I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I was like, I can't ask somebody to come here and pick me up, drive me back 50 minutes, right? And then 6 hours later, hey, can you drive me back over there? And then drive me. I'm going to ask him to spend 4 hours of their day driving me around. So, you know what?
Right.
I was committed to Fort Walton for the day. And I was like, I'm here. Now, what's cool is Taco Town is one of my favorite, taco places. It's been there forever. It's just a staple. I actually did a little review thing there. I'll give that to y'all later. But, dude, their taco salads, I mean, nothing's greasy. It's just perfect. You get in line, you order, and it's all American-ran people. And, dude, it's just money, though. And it's so cheap. Like, you get a taco salad for $5.69 and get a drink. I'm $9 out the door. And you sit down and eat and salsa, and they come up. You okay? The lady's in the back. She's making the fresh shells. This place is absolutely second to none. I love it. So I was excited about that. Problem was, after Now, this was literally like, it opens at 10. I was standing at the door of Taco Town at 10, and I walk in, I eat, I'm excited. By 10:40, I'm like, okay, what do I do now? That fun just ran out. It ain't gonna be ready till 4 o'clock. Is what he said, 4:30. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Did they have Wi-Fi?
They did have Wi-Fi, and I did some Wi-Fi. But you know what I mean? At some point, you got to leave. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm kind of done with this scene. I stretched it out to about 11. She actually thought I was leaving. I was going back to get more drinks. She's like, have a good day. I hope you enjoyed it. I was like, well, I ain't quite leaving yet. I'm just getting another drink. But I have enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I'll be loitering just a little while longer, man.
Just a little bit longer. I got to stretch this day out. We got a long day in Fort Walton. And I'm at Racetrack Road.
Longer, like a damn Jackson Brown song.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I did. So, but then I had to make a move.
Song of this show.
Just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. So, dude, I had no mission, but I left there and I started walking. And I was like, well, I could have got an Uber, but I had no destination. You know what I mean? I was like, what do I do? Get an Uber to just somewhere? Like, I don't even know where to go, you know?
Time to pull up Yelp.
That's a comedy bit. Somebody needs to let their buddy that works clubs rip that off and make something out of that. There's a comedy bit there somewhere. That's probably already one, but that's a good one, Lacey. I want to go somewhere that don't have a destination. Where am I going to call an Uber and take me just, I don't know where I'm going. Drive me around.
Anywhere.
I have no idea. It's
Three Bridge Road.
It's 10:50 in the morning. What am I going? You gonna go to a bar and start drinking? No. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, where do I go? And I don't want to go this way. I know this way's better. I'll head this way. You know what I mean? I just started walking, and then there was, and as I started walking,
this way looks better than that way. Let's try that first.
I just got through eating a giant pile of these damn Nacho Supreme, right? So luckily there was a Publix on my right. I was like, that's what I need right now. So anyway, I had to go visit the restroom there for a minute. After we got reorganized, now I'm good to go again, and I just kept walking. So now I'm in Fort Walton Beach, and I'm heading
It's 11:17 a.m. now.
Yes. At the most.
It's like waiting on Christmas when you're 7.
And I thought, you know what? There's this brand new waiting on Christmas when you're 7. That's good. It really was. And so, dude, I knew there was this Newtown Place suites they just built next to the bridge. And I was like, I'm heading to the bridge. But I forgot there's 2 bridges. There's one back to the north, one back to the south. I started heading south. And I'm excited. I walked probably a mile. Here comes the bridge into sight. I see it, 1.5 miles, maybe 2. I ended up walking like 9 miles today. It was insane. So I got to the bridge, got up on top of the bridge, and there's a guy fishing. And I started talking with him. Caught anything? No, I ain't caught anything today. And some guys out in the water fishing. From him, looking at them. And then I get over the hump of the bridge, and I realize I'm at the wrong bridge. There's no Town Place Marriott. That thing was back to the north, which was now at this point over 2 miles back behind me. I was like, yeah, I'm in the wrong place. I got to keep going, because I was just going to go there and kind of hang out, because I've always stayed at Marriott. So I just hang out in the lobby and wait for them to call and text me. I'll just chill there for the day. It's on the water.
Yeah.
There's a
That's
gas station.
what I was going to mention when you said about going to the Publix. It's like, man, hotel lobbies, clutch. Just go in there, act like you've been there, especially if you've got membership number.
That was it. I'm a lifetime titanium elite member or whatever. Red carpet would enroll out. Hang out all you want to, sir. You know. No, I'd gone the wrong direction. Now I'm pot committed. Now I'm heading south. The only thing south now is downtown Fort Walton Beach. I was like, well, I guess I'm heading to downtown. I mean, that's another
get an airbrush hat and a tattoo on my lower back while I'm here.
Dude, that was it. I mean, so I'm walking, it hit me as I'm walking, because I'm heading. There's Uptown Station on the left. They used to have some stuff in there. Maybe I can pull in there, get there. I was like, it's nothing there. What am I going to do? There's nothing in there. I don't want to go in there. And I'm stopping periodically, sitting on benches, because now the sun's out a little bit. Now I had this hat on, but I was carrying it because I didn't want to get a sweat ring on this hat, right?
Understood.
And to that point, I shouldn't have said that, because I want to tell you something, but I can't.
Keep moving forward.
I had an epiphany today. I had an epiphany during this walk. During this walk, I continued to drive south, and by walking, I mean driving and walking. But dude, I had an epiphany. I got an idea. I have an idea that it's going to be in everybody's household, just like duct tape is in your household. And I'm getting ready to. I came up with the idea. I came up with how I do it. I came up with what I'm going to do, what I'm going to call it, and how I'm going to package it, and how I'm going to start selling it. Unbelievable. Okay. This walk was so productive today.
Does it include cleaning a hat sweat ring off of a hat?
It includes avoiding that. So that's all I'll say. I'm going to move on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
But
I'm
I'm
intrigued.
so
personally.
excited. And I continued to carry my hat in my hand. I came in hat in hand, literally. And so I'm walking, and it hit me. There's an Indian temple mound in Fort Walton Beach that I knew about. I've seen it. I drive by it all the time. It's this elevated mound, like a pyramid, flat top, with a temple on top of it. And I was like, I've never been there. I'm fixing to walk to that place, and I'm going to check it out. And there's a museum there and everything, and I go there. Oh, my God, I'm pouring sweat when I get there, and because that last mile got really hot.
Hearing you talk about it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, miserable.
It was tough. And so I get in there. It is so ice cold in there. I pay my $5 for the museum tour, and I go, or just to go through the thing. And I go sit inside. There's chairs in there, and I go sit. And I just cool down, set my hat to the side, cool down, relax, start looking. After I get regrouped, I walk around, look at all the artifacts. You should see the artifacts in here, JR. All these artifacts, they did some digs. They've done like 9 different digs at this mound that was, hey, listen, this place was actually started in 700 AD, and it was built by this is prehistoric times when Native Americans had they had no names. There's nothing. They didn't leave any inscriptions. They just did what they did, and this is who they are. They don't belong to any tribe, and they built these mounds.
Unless the aliens took their scribes. Let's don't forget the obvious here.
There it is, and hey, there's something to that too, and I want to dig into this later. But dude, so I cool down. I'm checking all the artifacts out, all the arrowheads, all the pottery, all the fire starting stuff. You can actually play with the bows and do the fire starting stuff. You could do that. I mean, I was having a blast. I was like a kid in there, and there was nobody there hardly at all. And once you pay the $5, you never have to pay again. You put that receipt in your phone, and you can show up to them the rest of your life, and you never have to pay to go back there. It's
that doesn't.
Isn't that crazy?
Should have never gave you one.
To make money. Why? How are they? That's not profitable at all. It's only $5 to join our Patreon, Blasey.
Well, they just want people to come back.
But you got to pay it every damn month if you want the
They just want people
shit.
to come back. They didn't know Blasey was going to show up every day for the rest of his life.
He'll be He's
going
to do a
going
podcast live from there.
Yes, they don't understand what they've created
He's
here.
moving in. Blasey thinks he just got a free place to live when
Give
he has
him
to
an
get his
inch,
car
he'll
worked
take a
on.
mile.
Oh, I do. They should. It immediately hit me. I said, I'm getting content in this joint. You know what I mean? It's open, wide open, $5. I got full content access here. So yeah, I cruised
It's
through.
already up. JR hadn't seen it yet. It's up. Go check it out.
It's on X.
It's on X. Check out Blasey, SRB Trojan, and our Tigs Bits podcast. It's up either place.
Check it out, dude. Yeah, so I'll speed this up a little bit. I'm dragging this out, but I cruised through the damn museum, check all this stuff out. Now I've cooled down enough so I'm not pouring sweat, so I know I'm ready to do some content. You know what I mean? And I go up the stairs, up to the top of the mound, and sit there and check this whole place out. Again, this thing's 700 AD. It was built, and they put it there, JR, because you had freshwater access, and then they had this ramp that came off the mound where downtown is now and goes towards the Gulf, and they could get seafood. And they were one of the few tribes at that time that lived primarily off of seafood, which they found to be really unusual, during that time period. One of the only mounds in the country that would be set up this way. And so, dude, this thing's like 220 by 230 feet. Every side faces perfectly north, south, east, and west. 700 AD, dude. They knew this. How do they know this? They didn't have compasses back then, did they? It's crazy.
Ancient civilizations, the ancient aliens taught them.
And there's something about the whole magnetic energy of the way they set this thing up. It's on like a magnet field line. It's also set up. It's like it's so mind blowing. I don't know, and I want to really dig into that somehow. There's just a small piece of that. It's written there to tell you about it, And I was like, I need to know more about that. It's one sentence. So anyway, a crazy day, a day that started off going to get a dent repair, turned into a really cool experience there at the mound, a long walk to get there. And the cool thing, I got done there. There's a brand new brewery they just built there in Fort Walton Beach. I went. They even had a pickleball court there. Went and had one beer there while I ordered my Ubered my way back, got my car, was pleased with my car. Those guys did a fantastic job. And anyway, so here I am. So that was my Wednesday. It was filled with a lot of walking. But a cool experience, man. I learned something.
That's a good story. That's an interesting story. Another onion is something that we can peel the layers back on and dive a little bit deeper. Sounds like maybe you need to inform our friend Bowser about some of your findings today.
Bowser's MIA. We can't find Bowser. He's gone missing.
Imagine
he's not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We're
remember when he was here when all the lights was in the Northern Lights and all that. And guess where he ain't no more. And guess what ain't here no more. Imagine that.
He left with them, didn't he? He left with them.
Had an eclipse and some weird lights, and we ain't seen Bowser since. Imagine
Bowser's
that.
been out
He made one podcast appearance. It brought a spreadsheet, explained everything in just a beautiful summary.
Yep.
And if y'all haven't seen that, check it out on our YouTube page. It's on there.
He'll be back. I'm not sure. I think the NBA Finals may have not gone very well for him on from a financial perspective. That's just a guess. I don't know. I'm lining up with that versus him getting extracted. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why he's not here, but I just hadn't been able to get up with him
probably
lately.
Extracted. I mean,
probably
that's
was.
Or he left on his own accord because I'm not convinced that dude isn't an alien.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. Hey, one more thing, JR, I want to tell you about. Brantley's already seen it. That Indian mound back in 2004 when Ivan came, I went over. So at the time, Don Gates, you heard of Matt Gates, the senator, Matt Gates,
the Congress, whatever.
Yes. So his dad was Don Gates. Don Gates was good friends with a good friend of mine at the time, his dad. And during Ivan, right behind the Indian mound, literally right behind it, is the superintendent, Okaloosa County School Board office. And they just put this new roof on there. It was a 200-mile-an-hour roof. So we went over there. I spent the night in Don Gates' office, and we stayed there that night, hunkered down right behind that Indian temple mound. And it protected us from Ivan. I would get out and walk out and go around the corner of that mound. And that mound was probably, 18, 20 feet tall. It's 220 feet wide, almost the size of a football field right there in the middle of Fort Walton. And, dude, it was just, wow. I mean, just hammering. You get back behind the mound and chill. So that mound one night saved our life as we rode a hurricane out. But I'd never been there until today.
That.
Yeah.
You told us about that. Speaking of craziness with Jeff Petrowski, we've had him on the show before in the past. If you guys don't know who the hell Jeff Petrowski is, go just do a dive. Go find him on X. He has things on YouTube and stuff like that too. He's just an
big time storm chaser. Big time storm chaser. Gets right in the middle of all of it. Yeah.
And we have accepted a trip. We're going to do a show with him.
Tiggs and Blasey are going on a trip with the weatherman, crazy weatherman.
The handler.
No, this is gonna be so exciting for everyone.
Hey,
especially Tiggs and Blasey.
Tiggs and Blasey are gonna have a blast with Jeff and his mobile Helen Hunt.
He's got a Cybertruck, man.
He's got a Cybertruck now.
I feel we get to number one go in a Cybertruck.
What?
And I feel comfortable in a Cybertruck. Yeah. Never been in one, but I feel good about it.
Road show. I feel very comfortable with him.
Hey,
he's gonna be good.
Speaking of other invites, and I'm gonna get this out here because this show's gonna be all over the place. But your Tigs is gonna go throw out the first pitch at the Baton Rouge Rougarou game.
I am. It looks like that is going to happen.
Congrats on the invite. Game recognizes game. The talented squad like that wants to call up one of their own. They know he has the golden arm to go with the golden locks. He's going to come in and rock and stop. John Rocker ain't got nothing on Tig Nasty. I'm excited about this. Blasey, that's something we're going to have to, and Tiggs, we're going to have to make sure Riley is on his game for junior correspondent that day and night because he's got to get us some
we got to get great footage of that.
I told him about it today, and he was just like, he was jacked, and I was like, he said, "Can I come?" I was like, "Of course you can come, Riley. You're the camera guy. You got to film this deal, man.
Games are over, kid."
And then I told him, I was like, I think we're probably going to need to start chunking the baseball a little bit.
You dang right
exactly. That's what I was thinking. You're also going to have to make sure Dad's 2 or 3 cold beers are good and cool before y'all get up there and make sure you get that arm loose. We got to all that prep work. Have you a towel
not coming in to throw
done,
heat. I just want to get it across the plate.
Hey, listen, I'll teach you.
It ain't got to be hard and heavy.
Dude, you practice a little bit, Tiggs. All you got to do is put your mind to it. Practice a little bit. You come up with something nasty, something cool looking. Yeah, do something awesome, dude. That'll be so cool. Do it. You got to do it.
I would advise you to go back and look at George W. Bush. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever you are. Go back and look at after 9/11. Watch him throw that pitch, dude. That's one of the best first pitches I've ever seen. he threw it, but it was just tailed off in there. Like, this is my mound. Watch this, bam. Take ownership of that thing a little bit. Don't go up there and pansy it around.
And that was
direct,
and that was right at that was the first game after 9/11 too, right?
Yes, it was. And dude,
America,
Yeah.
America.
Right,
I mean, what else can you say?
It was
America,
awesome.
baby.
I mean, between that, I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what you think about him, man. Between that and that NASCAR race, when he started the Daytona 500, he walked in there and he said, "Gentlemen, start your engines." I was like, I had never heard it even phrased that way. I was like, that's the way it should be said. He was good at that stuff. He was great at that stuff.
He was. He was pretty funny and all that. I mean, I think
He
that's
dropped
the
ball
thing
on
with
Katrina,
I
but
think
besides
that's,
that, I thought
he did not do well with Katrina at all.
There's other issues. I get and understand.
Look, hey,
there always is with all.
that's a
of them.
good point. I over the weekend, this past weekend, I got to go to the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame with my dad. My dad has been inducted into the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame over the years. He was Speaker of the House during those years, during the Katrina years, when Governor Kathleen Blanco was the governor of Louisiana. Controversial figures, both on all sides, I guess you could say. But, yeah, it was not handled correctly in the state of Louisiana from the federal point of view. But, unprecedented.
But neither did Ray Nagin. Neither did nobody. Everybody.
Ray
Nagin did,
a lot of breakdowns.
Tons of breakdowns. A lot of points.
That's probably in my life. That one stings as much as anything right there. That's something that we had some control over. 9/11 was obviously the most devastating thing I've ever had to witness as an American. But the Katrina thing, being close to home and being right there and seeing it firsthand, it was like, man, we dropped the ball on that. Hopefully we never have to go through that stuff again. With the floods and these hurricanes and earthquakes and fires. But there's always something, and just hope we can always keep it to a minimum and mitigate it sooner than later.
Yep.
It just sucks.
But to kind of lighten it back up, it was cool going to that place, going and seeing a lot of people. My kids, like my daughter, whenever he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was 2008 when that happened. That was just as he had termed out. He could no longer run for office. He could run he was a representative. He could have ran for Senate. He did not. Glad that he didn't. But my daughter was only 5 when that happened. She kind of remembers a little bit, but doesn't remember much. My son has no clue. Like, he's never lived through that political life that kind of I grew up in it and all of that. So it was just neat for them to see and for me to see all of these people, because whenever I was there in 2008, I mean, that was 16 years ago. A lot of people have been added to the Louisiana Political Hall of Fame since then. A lot of people that I knew growing up, a lot of people that were important when I was a kid and stuff, a lot of stories that came.
Brantley, you know what's funny here, and I promise you I'm not trying to say this about you here, but I mean, minus the crack and the cocaine and everything, from just the attitude perspective, you're kind of the Hunter Biden of that whole situation, though. You know what I mean? Like
I really am.
When I met you, when you popping buttons off your shirt, periodically, like, why is this guy buttoning his shirt in front of me? If you go way back and listen to that show, like when he just sat there, I've just met him, he's just popping buttons off his shirt. You're the son of a politician, and you're, like I said, you're more the Hunter Biden type deal, like minus the crack. Cocaine and drugs,
and the millions of dollars. There's also minus that, and minus the fact that my dad is a straight arrow, shoots it straight, nothing like that, and one of the least wealthiest of all of the legislators in the time. So beyond that. But from an aspect of I was a little crazy and pushed
Tiggy Wiggy like the boogie woogie.
My name's Tigs. Tiggy Wiggy. Tiggy Wiggy Wiggy. Can't you see? Sometimes the Tigs likes to hypnotize me. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's effing go.
I hypnotize myself. Don't make this come out, boys. I ain't drinking. I'm on no sauce. Unfortunate.
Let's get him calm. Let's get calm down. Let's get Blasey fired back up. Blasey, I need to run down what's been happening in Bubba's world. I don't know if we've talked since President Trump was found guilty on those charges. I know I've watched Bubba some on X this week, but I haven't. I've been slammed with work and travel. I'll tell a little bit on that later. But I have been really out of the loop since about last Thursday. So, and we haven't talked either. What's going on in Bubba's world? What's on fire? Who got fired? Who's on the naughty list? Who's on the nice list this week?
So we still got everybody on there now. Bubba did. I think he really. He made Alex Stein a little angry, like so. Yeah,
that's your boy, huh? And that's your boy, huh? This is the drama I tune in for every week.
It is. He failed to put Stein over in a time when he should have put him over. He had a guest on there, Eric Andre, the comedian guy.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah. And so he was on there, and then Bubba's just rolling. Not to Bubba's credit, they'd been going. They were probably over. He'd already said he was up against the time, but he had Eric Andre on there. Eric Andre's coming to Tampa this Friday night to do stand-up comedy. He does these interviews. You can go YouTube and check him out. He does these interviews with people, and he screws with people. Like it's almost like a roast of somebody. He says, "I want to interview you. You better watch out. Some dude may pop out of a desk. His desk may explode. Something may come out of the ceiling. Like it is." Like, you better watch out. It's going to get a little different for you. You just better stay in it. So he says, hey, he's doing stand-up, and I want to interview you 8:45 to 9 o'clock down in Tampa. I want you to come join my comedy show, and I want to interview you, And so Bubba's all in. He's doing it. So he's interviewing him, helping put him over for coming down to Tampa, helping him sell his show out. And he mentioned, he was like, back in the day, Eric, he said, I used to have Tucker Carlson on here all the time. Now I got this other guy comes in, but he was just kind of rolling. He wasn't trying to. He was trying to keep moving.
He called
Alex. I think so. You know what? If I'm wrong, I think he said other guy. I'm not, but he was like other people.
He didn't give quite enough verbal love to.
He didn't give any verbal love, but he was trying to move through. But he wasn't directed against Bubba. It was just or against Alex. I mean, but he just kind of kept rolling, just because Tucker's just a big name. But Eric Andre, kind of what Stein do, are kind of similar, even though they're just different worlds. They like to screw with people, a little bit shock value and stuff like that.
Yep.
But Stein literally came into the chat. I was watching the chat when it happened. And he did a super chat, which was like $1.99 just to get their attention. And he was just like, put me over, Bubba, put me over. Well, Bubba's just rolling with the interview. And he didn't do anything. Nobody wants to interrupt Bubba. And then Bubba got caught up into the damn Hogan deal because he says to Eric Andre something. He was like, oh, yeah. He said, I remember the Hogan deal. He said, that's where you were filming Hogan and you were filming Hogan so you could give that to Gawker. And he was, dude, that just set Bubba off, right? Because that's what everybody thinks. Dude, the show flipped on top of its head. Like, it turned into Bubba going back through and breaking down how he did not give this film to Gawker. He did not distribute this thing. It was, stolen.
I've completely missed this somehow.
Wow. Oh, my God. He goes into a full rant. But it's the same time. Now, Stein's trying to get his attention, right? When this starts. Literally, as this starts, Stein's trying to get his attention. Like Bubba.
He's like,
put me over, buddy.
Bubba,
he's coming in. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Bubba's in full rant. Nobody there's going to interrupt him.
He's not paying attention to the damn.
No, and I don't think Bubba doesn't really read the chat anyhow, does he? Isn't that really
no, especially not when he's on full. You're getting all full, hot and worked up on this damn deal. He said, told him he thought he was. He even did his hand like this, reeling it. He said, "Yeah, you were filming just for Gawker. He was filming for Gawker. He said, I thought it was a stunt. Yeah, he said,
camera provided by Gawker.
Yes, Gawker sent him the camera, and the Bubba did the filming. Yeah, he was just. I mean, he's just spinning out, and they finally had to kind of pull him back in. Hey, finish the interview with him, kind of.
Wow.
Well, I did see something where it led over. I was listening to Bubba yesterday maybe, and they had some kind of a Japanese anime kind of deal with wrestling, and it was
so bizarre.
That was so bizarre. It was one of the There's a cartoon that was made in Japan, apparently, JR, of the Bubba sex tape saga with Hulk Hogan, and it's Bubba's just a big heart.
Yeah, Bubba's just a big heart with legs walking around.
Looks like a Valentine candy, one of those things. Like it's just, insane.
Oh yeah, totally insane. So so Alex is, Alex is still, it's fine. I think they're going to be good. It's just funny. Alex is a little bit like, really? I put you over everywhere I go. Everybody that comes in, every guest that comes on, I always put you over. You hadn't put me over. Why can't you put me over? Alex is a little frustrated. I totally get it. You know what I mean? But
Alex
fine.
I think Alex wants
but now
Eric Andre
Bubba
on his show.
To make it up. He just wants to get in that same circle, right? It's all a community.
Yeah.
And so I think he's coming back on this week. Today's Wednesday. It should be tomorrow, Friday. Oh, Bubba. Immediately when they told Bubba after Eric left, he told him what his concern was. Oh, he's pissed. He'd already called Lummy, I think. It's like, why didn't you put me over? He's like, oh my God, Bubba really, because typically Bubba would have gone Bubba, be like, what's he mean? I've helped that guy out. I mean, I'm bigger than who I am. I'm Bubba. He didn't do all that. Now, Bubba just immediately said, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I didn't do that. I was just caught up. I was up against the clock. I was trying to get through something. I wanted to get the story. He started talking about Hogan, and I had to tell him about that.
That's his trigger.
I mean, he went on. He's like, when he comes back on next week, he said, I'm going to put you over so big. He was like, dude, I'm going to, put you way over next week. So I think when he comes back on, it'll end up working out in the long run better for Alex because he's going to put him way, way over.
Yeah.
So.
And Bubba won't forget to make sure next time to mention. Well, I get it. I mean, it's totally. I get it. I know Alex wanted the love there, but Bubba was in the heat of the battle on a surprise attack interview. So I mean, a kamikaze interview. So I mean.
He didn't expect that Gawker thing. That Gawker thing flipped his lid.
That triggers him. It's awesome.
Oh
it's awesome, man. They were talking last week. He gets triggered apparently with emails occasionally, and he tweeted out this email. This dude was just some jackass, whatever. But his name was Rusty Shackelford. And I can't believe I heard that, and no one in the room, I don't know if they're afraid to correct him or if they didn't know, Rusty Shackelford was Dale Gribble from King of the Hill. You can't take an email seriously from some jackass named Rusty I'm Rusty Shackelford, and I don't think that you're really here, Bubba. You can't trust Rusty fucking Shackelford, bro.
Don't read the comments.
That was
Bubba.
hilarious to me.
That is so funny.
Oh yeah,
God.
I think that's one of my favorite things is when Bubba gets a little hot, gets a little triggered, and he just gets one lane focused, and he just gets so quick too. He's 90-0, just jolly go lucky, and then all of a sudden is ready to whip some ass. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh, it was so good. He was so fired up on that. That was an awful email. I get it, but this is just a fraudulent deal.
Bot.
Just a bot. It's a bot.
It's a bot. It's a Russian bot.
That's
it's
right.
BS.
Yes,
it's some
man.
AI Russian bot BS.
Bots going after everybody. I've had bots come after me. We got bots come after us. I mean,
we do. There's bots on our
it.
deal. Whatever. Yeah.
Hey, I tell you who was not a bot, and I mentioned this. We were talking about X earlier. Blasey has had some great content earlier, and he found something last week that I thought was super cool that I didn't even know about. Was the wrestler in Troy at the turn of the century? Who,
unbelievable.
People think of wrestling as big now. They think of wrestling big with Hulk Hogan. Even before that, the AWA and Fritz and all that stuff. But man, wrestling was so big way back in the day. It was before there was pro football. Wrestling was there with boxing, with everything. It was so big and such a big sport. Blasey found, I don't even know where did you maybe it was a Troy thing.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Josh Boutwell, he writes for Troy and Troy Messenger, and Josh Boutwell's the one that put this article together and put it in Troy Messenger, and he released unbelievable piece, man. Great piece of work there. I couldn't believe what I was reading. You going back to what was this, 1910?
1907, 1910.
This Japanese wrestler and
holds up at Troy, Alabama, of all places.
Yes.
And then they have these huge matches, and that's about the time they started turning it into a work instead of just a shoot. So
people went to jail. He went to jail because they found out they had worked on a match and predetermined who was going to win. They arrested the sheriff, arrested both of them, in a real
and the promoter and everybody else, and made them leave the state. Could never come back to the state again. That kind of stuff. Wow, y'all check Blasey's Twitter out and go back and look at that and look at that article because that was
a great article.
And I had to get that in there. You were talking about your Troy hat, and then we'd mentioned wrestling stuff, and I had to
dude, I missed that. I've got to go back and read that.
Dude,
myself.
it is a wild story. Yes, it is.
I mean,
wow.
This crazy wrestler that was from Japan, ended up in Troy, was a shooter, could handle everybody, and I mean, he had the Boutwell had done his research too, and found. Traced him where he had traveled to work different places in the country. And like I said, we're talking about the early 19 teens.
Yes.
In single.
And he was a
digits.
phenom. He was a phenom. They were known for these unbelievable matches. And then one time he threw that match. That's why
They would wrestle 6. They wasn't one they wrestled 6-8 hours or something. And they had to stop and come back and finish wrestling the next day. I mean, just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Wrestled multiple times, 4 and 5, 6 hours and stuff. Multiple
Good
times
Lord.
to a draw.
It's
And
just-
not fake, and not holding out and rest spots and any of that. I'm talking about these dudes fought for 6 hours till the fans finally were like, they're just holding each other. Stop, let them rest so they can fight again tomorrow.
Those older folks that go back there, and this is before then even, but like my grandmother's mother and my papa's mother, they would watch, and I remember them vaguely, very, very little when I was a kid, because I'm the baby of the whole family. But you didn't mess with them on Saturdays. They watched their wrestling. That was they're going to watch their wrestling, and it was a sin, though. That was a sin, and they hid the fact that they watched the wrestling.
Right.
But
they liked it.
I think they loved it. I think they thought it was real too. Like they would have been pissed if they would have known this was all
that
work.
way. And it was because even up to the point, like I said, back they'd have Babe Ruth, they'd have Gorgeous George there with him on the main thing for the New Year's parade of 1920 whatever. I mean, the star in wrestling was held as high as any other athlete in the world at the time. It's wild.
Yep.
Hey, and speaking of world class,
hey,
wrestlers,
hold on before you go through that, and because I know what you're getting to, I just looked it up real quick. If you want to check out Josh Boutwell's article, it is at Josh Messenger on X. Go check that out. I posted it, but Josh Boutwell is the guy who did that at Troy, and he's the one that released that whole crazy thing. So if you want to get that, dive into it. It'll be some good stuff. So, and JR, you're bringing up something I had top of my notes, of my 2 notes, what you're about to talk about. So I want you to proceed, sir.
Well, I know we've been talking about, because I've been busy on the road, and you guys got to come to some shows last week. I figured every week we talk about where I've been, where I'm going real quick.
Yes.
This past weekend had terrible travel getting out there. Had shows in Napa, California last Friday night, and Gardnerville, Nevada last Saturday night. So we leave on Thursday to go out there. Planes, all the flights get canceled because of storms in Dallas. So I end up in Atlanta, stay the night, get up the next day and fly. Brutal. Justin's stuck in Dallas. Nathan's with me in Atlanta. Terrible.
Oh, damn.
Get to Napa. Beautiful place up in Napa. We played. It was a great show. Got to see my buddy Mater. Shout out to my boy Mater, who just became one of only 13 OS Master Chiefs in the United States Coast Guard. Want to give him a big congratulations.
Oh,
wow, that's awesome.
Congratulations and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
We're gonna
That's
have
huge.
We're gonna have him on here to talk at some point. Maybe do it on here or maybe on the TV show because he's been all over. He's been in the Keys in the Coast Guard. He was in Alaska Station twice. Now he's up in hour north of San Francisco at a training facility there for the Coast Guard. But he's from my hometown. He graduated the year before me. He's still pissed at me because I blindsided him in high school football on practice. I used to blindside him when we'd come back from the water trough. So he's still hot about that. But anyway, got to see him. Got to see my buddy Dubin while we were there. That was cool. So we did the show in Napa. Then the next day we go to Gardnerville, Nevada to do a show. It's a country festival there, kind of like the one you came to, Tigs and Denham Springs. Well, that day I knew beforehand a friend of ours that works for Justin's management. He's from there. His grandparents are from there. He's from right in Yerington, which is the valley over. Nevada's set up in valleys. This was basically next to Carson Valley is where the concert was, which is Carson City, which is where Bonanza was set and all that. This is that real Nevada, that part, right near Lake Tahoe. So it's got greenery, it's got water and stuff. It was wild. But their new neighbor to his grandparents as of a few years ago is arguably the greatest wrestler of all time, Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold has become friends with my friend Cody's dad because Grandpa passed away a few years ago, unfortunately. But has become friends with their dad just every day doing stuff on the ranch because he's got land there. They've got land. They do this. Somebody there leases their land to work it with cattle and for the feed and stuff. But they see each other at the ranch store and in the grocery store and things like that. So Anyway, we invited Stone Cold over, and he showed up. So we got to hang out with Stone Cold for about an hour in the driveway.
Dude.
I drank a few Broken Skull American lagers, and we got to chop it up for a while. He was great. Everything you could think of. I mean, just exactly as you would think. And he talked, sounded, looked, acted the same way he does on his TV shows and things. So it was great. It was his hands, y'all. I'm telling you, it was like I have kind of small hands, but his hands are huge. I mean, they were the biggest, meatiest, like he just crushed rocks for a living. Fingers, hands so big. Arms, Blasey, and I'm talking about hose pipes for veins too, buddy. If you'd have nicked him, he'd have bled out. He was still jacked. He's still a gorilla.
I saw that picture.
He came in on a 4-wheeler.
He looked fantastic.
It was like a big gorilla riding a 4-wheeler. That's exactly right. He pulled up.
That's exactly what he is.
He could have taken that thing and put it on his back like a backpack and just walked up y'all. Yeah.
Yes. Just what Justin said. He's like, that's like the biggest 4-wheeler you get. He makes it look tiny. You know, but I'll just say this too. He couldn't have been cooler. Couldn't have been nicer. Just, I mean, he was great. I mean,
he drank some beer with you. Yeah, he kicked one back too.
He didn't during that time. It was early in the day. I can't remember what he said. He had jokes for everything. It's even like the show. Tell your boys played 9 o'clock. Oh, you know, he's like, that's a little late for me these days. I hope I'm in bed by 7:30. You know. But we talked a little bit about everything, and it was just great. You know, the connection there with a friend of the show, Mr. Diamond Dallas Page. We talked about that. He had some great DDP stories. He tells the story of the first time he went to Los Angeles to try a hand at the acting thing. He lived on DDP's couch for 6 months or so, and said even back then, Dallas was working on the DDPY, the early version of that, which was called Yoga for Regular Guys.
Yep.
And he said he'd be in there doing that and stuff, and Stone and Steve would be like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, and he'd tell him, he's like, "Man, guys don't do yoga." And he said, now that's his thing, you know. So, but he was been working on it since then, and that was 20 years ago. And you know, and he also said when they used to ride the roads, it'd be he, Dallas, and Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, and they would ride the roads together, and said Dallas would always show up and get in the car and have all the ice packs all over him, strapped to his knees, his ankle, his elbows, his neck, and everything, and they'd always be like, whatever, and just drink some beer. And so he basically said, he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's way ahead of the curve.
He was. He was way ahead of the curve.
And look at him now. He's like, here I am. I'm going to revive all you boys that are hurting a little bit. That's cool, dude. That's
big country music fan. We talked a lot about country music. We talked about out there. He loves it. He liked Texas. It was just a long ways away. His wife is from Los Angeles, so they bought the land there, and then they just fell in love with that part of Nevada now. And it's Nevada too. I didn't learn this until I met a friend from out there. I called it Nevada my whole life, but it's Nevada. Is how the people that live there actually pronounce it Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah.
I've always called
Steve
it Nevada
said
that
too. I told my buddy Cody when he
southern thing.
first started correcting me and Justin, I'm like, sorry, buddy, it's going to take us a minute. We've been calling Nevada our whole lives. When we don't mention it much, when we do, that's what we call it. But we'll dial it in.
I remember I was out there and I said, I'll take a Sierra Nevada, and they were like, you mean Nevada? Like I was ordering beer. Right. I was like, and I knew right then, like I never say that again as long as I live, because they looked at me like I was an idiot.
I think I will continue to say it whenever I'm out in Vegas next time. I'm going to continue just to try to stir the pot.
Well, they don't. The rest of Nevada doesn't claim Las Vegas. Nevada doesn't claim Las Vegas.
Yeah,
you know. But Steve said, you know, and of course you know me. I had to introduce myself as, "How you doing, Mr. Williams?" I had to call him by his birth name. You know, I keep him straight.
Sure you did. Yeah, you did.
And he liked the fact that I use the wrestling jargon stuff still. He got a kick out of that. I said, dude, I hang out with Dallas all the time. I mean, that's how he taught. It rubbed off with a bunch of us. It's just kind of everybody's a smart mark these days, you know, kind of thing.
Smart mark. A smart mark. That's so
you
good.
Know what I mean?
You hit it right there on the head, didn't you?
Yeah, but he said at the end, though, he said, I'm going to die in Nevada. He loves it out there. He rides. He's actually got a team up. He does some racing, some side-by-sides and buggies and stuff. He does cool. Out there.
He filmed some of his shows and stuff out there, too, on his ranch. I'm assuming it's right there close to – I mean, it looked like where you had the video, and it's out there, too. On
stuff for, like, the Broken Skull Challenge and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah,
no, that was in California. That was all set stuff out.
It all looks similar, though.
It is similar.
That looks super rural. That looks like super rural.
Like
is it It's like a little small grocery store, I assume, like down the road.
Tiny, dude. That pictures I sent y'all of the oldest. I sent y'all a picture of. I had a beer or I had a drink at the oldest bar in Nevada that was founded in 1853.
Wow,
that's crazy.
You know, they don't have hurricanes.
That's gotta be one of
they
the
don't have
oldest
humidity
bars in America.
Right, still standing like nothing changed. But think about it too. You know how they always say cars are good if they come from out west because they don't have humidity and they don't have hurricanes and rain all the time. So stuff lasts. You know. But yeah, the little restaurants and everything. Tiny little town, and where Steve lives out there. Near my friend's grandmother still lives there, and Dad and them live the valley over and things. I mean, there's just it's a few houses on a county road. You know, I mean, it's out in the country. I mean, it's impossible to find. It's just the middle of nowhere out in the country in Nevada. You know, but beautiful scenery behind you. Then you're in these meadows, like the angle you're looking at, but then behind me is this 11,000-foot mountain. You know, right
Unbelievable.
there.
Yeah.
And Cody said growing up they would go up and down it in a day and things like that, and I'm just like, wow.
That's
but
cool.
it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, you know, for me, someone who grew up loving wrestling and being a big Stone Cold fan because I loved his gimmick when he went Stone Cold. I was a big fan of him before that in the Hollywood Blondes when he was in the Dangerous Alliance. I always liked Steve Williams when he was wrestling even before the Stone Cold, but knowing, and you know, and I made this comment to him. I love his movies. He mentions, you know, the movie thing. He hated some parts of it, but liked some of it. And I said, dude, I love those beat movies you made. You know, the rough and tough. You know, when I shoot, I shoot to kill. They're all just full of one-liners. All he does is a one-liner over and over. But they're great. They're great.
Hell
I said, dude, there was this one movie, man. You were up in Canada and you had to avenge your daughter. You're trying to save your daughter, and dude, them bad guys kicked your ass up and down that mountain all movie for an hour and a half, and you never quit coming back, buddy. You get up, you climb up. Just when we thought you were not gonna make it, buddy, you'd crawl. There'd be your hand. You'd crawl up that mountain one last time and kick everybody's ass one more again, you know. But I told him, you know, for me now, especially that we're working on becoming world-class podcasters ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest podcast influence for me by far. I love Rogan. I like a lot of other ones, but I listen to Stone Cold and Stone Cold's podcast and Jim Ross's podcast more than anybody, and I feel like I took more and love the way Steve did his podcast for those years, the Unleashed podcast. And I told him that. I said, your podcast was absolutely gold. I mean, it was just great. Yeah. He's a great interview. He's a great talker. He had great guests. And just his relatability was so good. I really loved his podcast. And, you know, for me, that I told him that. And Blasey, you may know this. You know, one of my dearest friends who's not in this world with us anymore, but the first guy I ever worked for in the music business, Wayne Mills, he and Steve have a similar dialect. They have a similar accent. So a lot of times when I used to listen to the Stone Cold podcast, I think it was Wayne talking half the time.
No,
and it was because Wayne had family from Texas, and the way they would BS about certain things, man, they talk. If they were together, they would sound like brothers talking.
It's that same delivery,
yeah, the same kind of deal. But Steve's podcast was great, and I try to take away as much as I can. I'm doing a terrible job at it, but I got to tell him that. So for me, that was as awesome as anything.
Well, time out, JR. I got to stop you. Stop you. Okay. Dude, it's unbelievable experience. I can't imagine being in your shoes. That sounds like the coolest, greatest time. Did you ever put Tigs bits over, though? Speaking of Alex Stein and the Bubba deal, did you tell him that you do a podcast now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't
impressed.
I didn't go into the –
You didn't mention us? You didn't mention our names?
I didn't mention the whole.
So you're basically the Bubba the Love Sponge of this whole situation right now.
Well,
same guy.
Nah.
You got excited. You're out there.
I didn't get excited.
You're drinking his beer. You were
poised,
but you stayed so focused on you in the moment that you forgot about us.
This is what happened. You Eric Andre'd us.
No,
you really did.
Bubba already knew Eric Andre. I didn't know Steve Austin. You have to do a break the ice. You have to get the relationship.
That's true.
Steve certainly doesn't know us.
I can't go in. I can't go. He didn't call me. I can't go in asking him and telling him things till you got to get your feet.
You got
to
build
first,
the relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was about. We were just trying to make sure he didn't think
to work on
we were trying to make sure he didn't think we were nerds. So when we come over there again, he'll come visit. We're just like
you're playing cool. I'm kidding with you, buddy. I'm kidding with you. You know, I'm just messing with you here, but I just kind of messed up. But anyway, we'll just move on from that. That is freaking, dude. That's super. That's actually super dang cool.
It is cool. It is really cool.
What's
man.
super cool is how you
He's
sent
my
us a
favorite.
video and you said, "Hey, I'm hanging out here, this my buddy's ranch, and over my shoulder, Stone Cold Steve Austin lives over there." Man, you never know. I might get to meet him later on. About an hour later, here's a picture of you
Bam.
and Steve Austin standing there. I was like, shocker of the year. Yeah, like you said, that dude is jacked still, man. You know, like
Dude,
he
he
is.
looks so good.
And you can tell he's we're none of us are spring chickens, and a lot of wear and tear on his body. But I mean, just a grizzled old vet. I mean, just a old warrior still.
Yeah.
Did you mention WrestleMania by chance to him, and if he was potentially thought about popping in? Did that ever come up? Gotta ask.
I think we did mention some stuff about that. And he's good. He don't want to go do nothing. He don't want to leave.
That's what I've heard. That
his
he's kind
house. But you
I
got to
don't
think this
it
too,
ain't
guys.
about
I
the
wasn't.
money. He's done wrestling,
No.
is what he
Yeah.
said. Like he's
Right.
done.
Yeah, and like I said too, you got to remember this too. It wasn't a one-on-one. I had 2 or 3 other people with me, so I couldn't dominate the convo. But it was a great breaking the ice type thing.
I guess we'll let it go this time. Maybe.
But no, when we did ask him about that kind of stuff, he's just like he doesn't mind doing it if it works right, but he's happy and content out there where he's at. He's got a great. I get it. Being there, I'm like shit. I would too. I wouldn't. Hell, I don't want to leave my house.
A place I wouldn't want to leave.
Yeah,
at all.
for sure.
His tank's
right.
full. He's done everything from a personal standpoint. He's got plenty of money in the bank. Like now, he's just out there just enjoying himself.
And
Like,
those shows,
so
those
cool.
shows like you mentioned, Tigs. I mean, the B movies that we talked about, they're on all the platforms to watch. So I'm sure he's getting some stream or some royalties off that.
Oh,
But then also all those CMT shows, Broken Skull, Redneck Island, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because Redneck Island was the one our boy Riley Green was on prior to becoming a country star.
Yep, that's right.
But those shows are in syndication. There's a channel on some streaming. You can watch that any time of the day. Those shows, so that's got to be some form of kickback. So yeah, I don't think he's needing it. But hell, he looks like he could still go.
He
it's
does.
like when I told y'all we
I know he
met.
could.
And I wish we'd have worked out this time. It was almost going to get to run into Ricky Henderson again, but the travel thing messed up. We didn't get
And
there.
today, I am the greatest ever.
Dude, when the time I met Ricky Henderson, that was only like a year ago maybe. Ricky Henderson looks like he could still go steal 40 bases in Major League Baseball right now. He's still just jacked.
You said he's fun to talk to.
Oh
Like,
God, yeah, he'll ham it up with you too. Ricky likes talking about Ricky. Oh
Ricky
yeah,
likes
Yeah,
him,
he
Ricky,
does.
don't he?
yeah, and he'll get into baseball. He'll talk nuts. And Justin was sitting there, asked him about, so you got this and a 2-seamer on this pitch and this now. You go there. What are you looking for here? And they're just, they're nuts and bolting baseball. And Justin's just loving it, and Ricky's love giving it. And yeah, he's got that big old good smile. Ricky Henderson was great. But yeah, and I get it why a lot of those guys live out that way now because the weather is great. I flew into San Francisco. Weather's great. I mean, the town looks like crap.
Yeah.
Not hot,
It's got
though.
its problems. But, man, the weather's nice. I get it
Yeah.
why people live there. I'm always like, Cali sucks now because people ruined it, but, damn, the weather's still nice.
Oh, you get up there in wine country still, though. It's nice, dude. You get up in Napa and
Nice,
Sonoma. I love Sonoma. Sonoma's my
Yeah.
spot, dude.
It gets cool at night still.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so cool out there.
And over there in Nevada was the same way, and then they got Lake
Yeah.
Tahoe right there. I mean, but Cody said in the winter because I'm always like, man, I ain't dealing with no snow. I ain't trying to shovel it. I ain't trying to do nothing with no snow. And he said up there it's warm enough where you really get it, and it lasts for 2 or 3 days, and it disappears. It's not like
that's
certain
perfect.
places where the snow
you're not
stays
snowed
for months
in
at a time.
for 2 weeks.
He said you'll get a bad one, but it doesn't last for weeks and weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's-
it's beautiful up there. So, yeah, if you ever get a chance to get out that way, Reno, Lake Tahoe area, Napa, go tell us what you think about it. And I thought it was great weather. The people were nice. Food was good. Bars were good.
Telly Savalas country out there.
Yeah. But I was ready
Players
to go.
card. Get your players card.
And you never know. You might run
Las
into Stone
Vegas.
Cold Steve Austin. You never know.
You may. Yeah. Hell
Hey,
yeah.
I'm all right. We've done a whole show here.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I'm about pissed with both of y'all right now.
Why?
happened to Stone?
What's up with that?
I mean, I'm honestly being serious.
Like, 'cause
And
it's your
that's-
birthday and we didn't say anything about your birthday?
Oh,
You
my
damn
God.
right it is. I got some serious
Today?
heat, dude. It's my damn birthday.
I thought your
It's Friday, dude. But we
Well,
gonna
it
do a
ain't
show.
your birthday yet, bitch.
Hey, listen here, you two
We're
assholes.
too
I
damn
even-
old for birthdays, too, by the way.
I know. Honestly, I could care less. But I am
They
pissed
ruined
off.
the
can
damn
see.
surprise of us singing you out to end the show, so never mind with that.
No.
Never mind Taylor Swift. Go back home. He doesn't want you to sing the song today.
Taylor
Come
Swift's
back,
out.
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Oh, I mean, Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood, y'all's boy
Carrie
set it
Underwood's
up.
definitely here. Yeah, you did set it up. Yeah, she told me
boy
that you were
did.
going to do this, actually.
The guy,
Did you
y'all's
hear from
buddy.
Hootie?
Hootie set it up.
Hootie came back on this week. Good God. He still believes it. They had him on the other morning. My
What's he
God.
saying? They asked him about it again.
Same
He's still all
shit.
about it.
He's funny. He started laughing about it, like he's making fun of himself, but then he wasn't. Then he freaking got off. It's like
That dude's
somebody
got
said
mental
on there.
problems. That dude's got
It's-
mental problems.
It started
He's
off
been
as a work,
Baker-acted in
and it turned
Florida.
into a full shoot. You know what I mean? Like, he cannot figure out what the hell. I mean, he's full dialed in on it. He believes it fully. But listen, I put something on Twitter the other day. Neither one of y'all responded. Y'all didn't see that thing that Amanda gave me? Those Africans that wished me happy birthday?
Oh, yeah.
I briefly saw. I couldn't see
Briefly
much of it
saw
because
it.
I was in. I saw it. I was in Florine. It was terrible.
How do you
it looked
briefly?
wor-
How do you briefly see a tweet?
It played. The video played for 3 seconds and then froze. The pixels look like you do now, and every time we do this podcast. So,
you've looked like
that's what it
garbage
looked-
tonight too, though. So just full transparency.
yeah, exactly. So, I have not completed watching it. I will go watch it tonight, though. I
watch it.
saw the
It
beginning.
got like 3 views.
It
I
looked
thought
like
was
a bunch
great.
of it looked like a bunch of men dancing in pink shit, and I don't know what's up with it.
It's a bunch of African men dancing in pink shit, wishing me a happy birthday with my face on a piece of paper, kissing it.
Oh, well, that's
They really
kinda,
did this.
They,
They
it's
really-
like
these
that wasn't
Africans-
AI. It was
No, it was not AI. That's an African tribe that actually.
Yeah, I thought
gave
y'all
me a happy birthday
superimposed
wish.
something. I think somebody superimposed something on that. I don't think
it's
they just
totally
have
real.
a generic thing. It's generic.
Fully real. Amanda even gave them the script. Happy birthday, Chad Blacey. Keep it safe. No, you can see. They're saying it.
It looks
Is
like
there a
somebody took.
certificate
It
of
looks like those things
authenticity?
where they changed the piece of poster board for the guy sitting out
Oh
selling
my
stuff. At the
God!
little
But if
table.
you see the paper keeps bending and my face keeps, I mean, that'd be some great
Is
AI.
this done through
They got
Cameo?
it. They got
It's a
GP
cameo deal.
GP5.
Yeah.
They got
Yeah,
GP5.
She spent $400,000. I mean, $40 on doing
400,000. I
Four-
think you and your boy Hootie might need to get the same therapist, and we'll get y'all tandem visit starting about yesterday.
You and
This
your
is
boy.
just
Hoodie.
going
I mean,
off the rails.
You know what's
here at the
crazy?
end. I
This is-
love it.
Your girl
This is what I
spending
get for my
$400,000 to get an
I
entire
said
African
$40.
tribe to worship a picture of you on AI Skype internet. Come on,
You
now.
you misheard me. You must have misremembered what I said. What's his name said? What was the picture that said that? Roger Clemens. You must have
Misremembered.
I misremembered.
He said, "Shame on me once, shame on you twice."
Never be
Well,
fooled
any
again.
days. You know what? Happy birthday to me, motherfuckers. You know,
Happy damn birthday, Blacey. How old are you now? 54, 55?
68.
68
Look,
years old.
you look great for 70. Everybody behind you at props is going nuts right now. That
They
they've
are
just found out that
losing
you look.
their
They're
ever-loving
losing their
minds back there, sir. Sir,
They
get
can't
that guy
believe-
to sit
yeah.
his ass
Security-
down back there.
security.
This is insane.
Grant,
need some more-
stay in your seat. All right.
We need some more barricade security.
I had to control Grant there a little bit.
Wow.
Well, it sounds like we got a party coming up, so that's good. I've got a feeling we're going to have content from stuff this weekend, fully expecting
We'll
it.
get something. Yeah, I know the party was kind of yesterday when we went fishing. Shit, that's another story. But yeah, we went
Yeah.
fishing and we had a pool party. That was so good. Actually, the owner of Props invited me fishing, and the GM, Joe, that's what we call him, GM Joe,
Yeah.
went with us, and his wife's nephew went with us. It's us four. We had a blast, man. On
All
this
I
boat.
saw was 3 hot-ass women wearing Tigs bit shirts.
Of
And
course
if y'all
you
ain't
did.
seen that. I mean,
Yeah.
I did see that, Blacey. I did see that tweet.
I
I
bet
saw
you
it
did.
well. I saw it well.
That's as we hung out. We brought that fresh snapper back to his house. We cleaned it. We cooked it for lunch, and then we had a pool party by the pool, and they cut up 2 Tigs bit shirts, put them on, and then GM. So that's actually.
Hey,
we got Nate's wife, we got Joe's wife, and we got Amanda in that picture.
look. So would they be
Good-looking
considered
crew.
tigwigs?
I think they're. Ooh, what do the women call? What do we call it?
Did
They're
we-
Tigs wigs, right?
Have
They're
we
Tigs
announced
wigs.
to?
Yep,
have
it's
we announced to the
official.
world
As of
outside
today,
Twitter?
it's official. I made it official with I
Tigs
gave a
wigs.
shout out to some of our top supporters on Facebook and thanked them for being The Tigs,
Tigs
wigs.
wigs.
That
The
they
Tigs
are.
wigs. Those are the hot Tigs wigs right there.
The big wigs.
Yes, they are. They are our spokesmodels at this point. So, yeah, they may be our new profile picture as well. So,
hey, well, thanks. Hey, I saw
sports.
you give that shout out. Thanks everybody who is certified TIG wig up in this joint because we appreciate y'all. We couldn't do these shows and put all this content out without love and support from listeners and viewers across all these platforms. So legit, straight from the heart. It's a shoot. Thank you all for tuning in and listening when we drop stuff. We appreciate that, no doubt.
100%, man. It really it's
Hey.
amazing all the interactions that we've had since we started this show, especially. We're 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people a week are hearing it. We appreciate every single one of you, the DMs, all the stuff, man. It is crazy. There's so much stuff that I get every day that y'all don't always see because of the show. I try to send it to y'all in our little group text and some of the highlights. But, dude, it's constant. It's 24/7. There's a notification for this or that. So it's unbelievable. We used to go for a week and get 5 notifications. Now it's like, what's happened if there aren't 5 in an hour? You know what I mean?
Right.
So unbelievable.
Yep.
Thank you all.
It is.
It's so much fun.
Very humbling. Very humbling.
Absolutely.
It is.
Well, we're gonna break. We like to break trends here. We start trends and we break trends here. We're gonna break the trend. We are not going to discuss the WNBA today.
Nope. Not today.
We
Or ever.
flew over the top of it. We're not going to discuss court proceedings and things of that nature on this show. But tune in next week and we might. So you never know.
That's
And
exactly right.
and, hey, Skinner don't play Freebird
We
first, and this
won't
ain't
till we
paying enough to
will.
tell all the juicy stuff yet. We'll get to all that. And
That's exactly
and we
right.
do a live show too. I want everybody to remind y'all check on the socials, Tigs Bits, JR the Handler, SB Trojan. Check out when we do this every week, and Tiggy will give a shout out ahead of time, letting you know when we're going to drop the live show. But y'all jump in and join us on that. That's a fun forum for us to chop it up, and we'll drag stuff off that and use it for posts and use it for different things. So any of y'all that enjoy the podcast on the Bubba exclusive podcast here on the Bubba Radio Army Network, make sure to come to our live show on YouTube, usually on Wednesday night. Sometimes I think we're going to do it Thursday night this week.
Wednesday
Usually
and
Wednesday or
Thursday, but
Thursday
yeah.
night.
Well-
We go on for an hour or two, and it could be all of us, could be one of us, could be some guests. Who knows? We've had junior correspondents. We've had
People just
aliens.
pop in.
We've had all kinds of
Think
crazy people
fun.
on there. So
War
y'all jump
crimes
in-
on Wednesday. That's something coming new that nobody knows about. That's all I'm gonna say. War crimes on Wednesday. We got something special coming.
I know
I'm
a
talking
little bit about it.
flames.
I know a little bit
yeah, that's
enough
something
about
new.
it to
That's
be
coming.
like, whoo,
That's gonna be
You're
special.
gonna want some of this. Y'all are gonna want some of this
I love
for
it.
sure.
Well, that should be enough. That should be enough teasers to get everybody hopped up and juiced up, like a couple shots of D-ball till next week. So no more exclusive drops and teases this week. But
Zipping
but
it
straight
for this week.
But straight shoot stuff. Yeah, we didn't get to catch up, but it was good to catch up today, boys. You know, Blasey, you were talking about that car. We'll go back to where we started this convo. You talking about you having a random foot elbow indention in the front quarter panel of your vehicle. You know, that reminds me of a story. One time I was checking out of a hotel. I'd been in New Orleans at a Saints game, stayed at that Hyatt right next door. Go to get my car the next day. Valet's already got it out. I go down, I walk around. Huge dent in the back door of my car. It was back before I had a truck. This is when I had that that diesel Mercedes long distance car. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, what happened here? He's like, oh, I don't know. They pulled it out earlier. And I'm like, wait, nobody knows why there's a big dent. And it looked like a butt imprint. It looked like you were saying, it kind of, in your mind, to me, it looked like somebody had sat into my car real hard, but it was a dent. It wasn't coming out. So I mentioned to them, nobody can figure anything out. We swapped some info with the hotel management. I've got to go. I got to go somewhere, you know. So a week later, or a couple days later, hotel management calls. They go back and look at footage. There was a guy out there, a drunk guy out. They had pulled my car around. Within 10 minutes, there's a drunk guy out there harassing hotel guests as they come out. Police show up, tackle him into my car. So that's where the dent came up. I would have never
Maybe
come
that's
up
what
with that.
happened.
I
Maybe
would have
that's what
never
happened.
come up with that on my mind. I'm thinking, man, that guy hit something, you know, or somebody just kicked my car. You know, I'm thinking, or somebody just leaned on it. I would have never, you know, until the footage came out, the police arrested a guy and had to tackle him into my car and handcuff him to keep him from harassing hotel guests.
At least you knew. But that still
and
sucks.
the hotel paid, got it covered because it was under the valet's watch when that went down. But so maybe let's hope for the sake of humanity, someone didn't just do a rude boy and just come kick your car for no apparent reason, or somebody mad at their girlfriend or boyfriend and kick your car on the way out of somewhere. Let's hope it was an accident. They had to go. Maybe they fell and hurt themselves. And they had to go get checked out. They didn't have time to leave a note. Let's just hope something like that.
Maybe they hit your side mirror with a vehicle slowly grinding down the side of it.
Just ate down the side, because they were just a little off kilter. Their equilibrium got off.
Not 100%.
Yeah, you know what sucks is what?
Or it's that lady pissed at you and her daughter for scamming her out of her pompano a couple months ago.
Oh, it might be. It could all go back to the pompano.
Son of a bitch,
Damn it.
Where's my pompano?
Where's
my pompano?
She was in on it with him. He was in on it with her. I'm about to get his ass.
Wow,
that's exactly
I never
what
thought
happened.
about that.
Never know.
You never know.
You just never know.
Well,
boys, are we going? I guess that's enough today to let everybody ponder and worry on. Thanks everybody for tuning in this week. I'm JR the Handler. That's Blossy the One Man Posse. That's Tiggy himself, Mr. Tig Nasty, Tiggs Brantley Salter in the house.
Happy birthday
the founder of this.
to me.
And no happy birthday for you, Blasey.
Happy
happy birthday for you.
to me, motherfucker.
Nope, you got to wait till
You're
Friday,
58 years old now.
67.
Plus
I hit retirement. Come on, Social Security.
Speaking of LLCs, we'll see y'all next week.